Okay, guys, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to go over Azure Disk Encryption. I'm going to go through it using the portal, so it might help clear stuff out. Because most times when people see the PowerShell commandlets, they get confused and all giddy. So I'll go through this using the GUI. All right, first thing to do when you start to get the encryption up and ready is to create an Active Directory app for the encryption. So I'll jump into my Active Directory here, or my Azure Active Directory, as I say, and go into the app registration, and I'm going to register a new app. I will give it a name, Disk E Demo, and it needs a URL, so I'll make one up, https:// all right. Okay, the app has been created. I'll just click on here and try to refresh it. Okay, so once I get into the app, I need to just do two things. Let me get this. All right, what I need from the app. Let's see. I'll go ahead and get the application ID. Okay, and also in the app, I'm going to go ahead and set up a key, secret. So I'm going to call this disk encryption. And I'm going to set it to never expire. I'm going to save. Once that's saved, it will give me a value. This is considered the client secret. I'll copy that out because if you don't, you lose it. And I'll put that in here. I'll say $ secret. Sorry, I keep losing my mouse. All right. So once I have that, the client ID and the secret, I'm basically done with the with Azure Active Directory. So now I'm going to go ahead and jump into the key vault because that's the next step. We need to set up the key vault for encryption. Okay, and I'll go ahead and create a new key vault. And I'll call it disk E. Let's see, it does vault. Now I'm gonna put it for this because that's for this demo. I'm gonna put in the same resource group that I'm using for the whole demo. So say use existing. I'm using the disk E resource group, and I'm gonna leave it as a standard. And at this point, I'm gonna add a new service, a new principal. Basically, I'm going to give the app access to this disk vault, or to this key vault rather. And all I need for this the app is permission to wrap on the key, and for the secret permission to set. You can give them the full permission, but I'm gonna for the bare minimum, as I only need the app to create, not delete anything. Okay, now I'm gonna go into this is really critical. I'm gonna go into this section here, and I'm gonna make sure my key permissions are full. And for the advanced access policy, I'm going to go ahead and check all three. Then I'll create the vault. Okay, once the vault has been created, I'll refresh. Then I'll go into the vault. So what I like to do is start from the bottom up, just to make sure I don't miss anything. So I'm going to go ahead and start here from the properties. Okay. Now, what I'm going to need in the properties here is I'm going to need the resource ID for this one. Sometime down in the line, so I'll put that in here. So in key vault. And then I'm going to need the URL. Key vault URL. Sorry, I don't need to set all this in variables. I just, I always put them in variables. That's how I do things, just in case I need to put them in a PowerShell commandlets. Okay, and then I'll go back into the advanced access policy, confirm everything is checked, and I'll go into the access policy, make sure I have my application there, and I'll jump up to key, or keys rather, and I'll add a new key. Disk encryption, and I'll create. Then I'll go into that key, go into the version level, make sure all my permissions are there, then I'll copy that key out. This is the key vault key ID. Okay, then I'll come down to secret. Now, secret is a little bit complicated because for the secret, you do need a, a certificate, a signed certificate for it. I'd already created one. Let's see. You can get one from a CA, but I already created one self-signed certificate here that I'm going to use for this process. So I'll go ahead and add. And upload option, we're uploading the certificate. And it wants the password for the certificate. Hope I remember it. Let's see, it was kept, perfect. And I'll give this also the same name as the key, which is disk encryption. And I'll create. Okay, once that is created, I'll go into that also. Go into the version level and get the ID of here. That's a key vault secret. Oops, secret ID. And technically, that's all you need to actually set up the encryption. It's done. Now, what we need to do is test it out. Make sure it is actually uh, working. So before I start, while I was doing all this, I had started a deployment of a VM. All right, and that has been completed. So we're going to go ahead and log into that VM. Let's get this out here. All right, once I'm in, just gonna check a few things, or confirm a few things. I'm gonna go ahead and open up and make sure my drives are not encrypted, or my drive is only C. Um, then I'm gonna go, while this is loading, I'm gonna come back here and copy this certificate. Paste it somewhere in the machine, and I'm gonna go ahead and install that on the local machine. and I'm gonna give it the same password I used to export it, which was and I'm just gonna make it put it in the default location. It's done. I can then do MMC. And confirm the certificate is there and ready. Okay. Now the next step now is to use the Azure Disk Encryption extension to encrypt the drive. Unfortunately, that is not available via the the extension section for the VM yet. Currently, it's only through PowerShell, um, CLI, and JSON templates. So since we're trying to do this through a GUI, what we're going to do is actually use the template. So I'll go ahead and search for, it's a quick start. So let's say quick Azure quick start disk. All right. Yep. I think that this is it. Let's open this one in a new tab. Yep. This is a template. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is deploy. And then what we just go ahead and fill out the template. So we have everything we're using in existing, and it's disk E. The VM name. And this is where I was gathering all this information. So the client ID would be this one here. And the secret. Okay. Then he wants the key vault name. And the resource group that the key vault belongs to, which we all know is disk E. Then since I created a key, I'm going to use keg to encrypt. And it needs an encryption key URL, which we already have here. Is this the key ID? And I'm going to tell it to encrypt all drives. This you can say all or you can say OS, but I'm just going to leave it at all. And I'm going to agree to using the template. And I'm going to purchase. And we'll monitor the deployment. So one thing that this did not mention, the template did not mention, is that this process will reboot the machine. Once you get down to it, it will reboot the VM. So let's go ahead and give it a few minutes and come back to it. Okay, so it's been about let's see, 20 minutes now, and this deployment is still running. That's one of the things about templates that I don't like because it relies on the portal to report information. But from using the PowerShell, I know this process should only take between 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm assuming it's already done, but the portal is not reporting it. So I'm going to jump back to, I'm leaving this one running. I'm not doing anything here. I'll jump back here to my VM. And let's see extensions. Okay, so my Azure Disk Encryption extension is there, and it's provisioning. The status is provisioning succeeded, which means that it should be working. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to connect to the VM now and see what we get. Alright, so it looks like the VM did reboot, so that's why I had to reconnect. Okay, and as you can see, my drives are are encrypted. But as you can also see, uh, it's still in progress of encrypting the C, which could be what the portal is waiting for. So I'm not sure how the template reports back that the deployment is successful. Normally, once the encryption has started in the PowerShell, the deployment is considered done because you just have to wait for it to complete here. Let's see. Yep, this is still going, so I'm just going to go ahead and close it. But basically, that's how you. Oops. Now it doesn't want to close, which means it's actually hanged. Okay. So basically, that's how you set up disk encryption. You set up Azure Disk Encryption using the GUI. All right. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.